6 p.m. in Bafut in the Mezam division of the Northwest region of the Republic of Cameroon, same time in Douala, Cameroon's economic capital city. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the primetime newscast on Equinoxe television with me. For me, I'm Sean Sander. The Cameroon Renaissance Movement, CRA political party, and the administration of Cameroon are at daggers drawn again, so to speak. The administration says no, but the party says yes to an extraordinary convention of the party but for tomorrow. From a critical viewpoint, right defenders across the country condemned what they qualify as a continuous crackdown on opinions contrary to those of the ruling class in Cameroon. Meantime, right defenders across the country are taking a stand against digital bullying, which they say that disproportionately affects the women folk. In the city of Douala today, they urge stakeholders across the country to join forces to eradicate all forms of violence against women, emphasizing the need for a collective action to combat this pressing issue. These stories and more, ladies and gentlemen, will be yours in this edition of the news. And now we greeted you beginning with Bafut in the Northwest region, where several persons are said to have been wounded in a gun exchange. According to local inhabitants, it was an exchange of fire between the non-state armed groups operating in the two English-speaking regions of Cameroon and government stakeholders. Now, in a bid to boost service delivery and address grassroots concerns in the Southwest region, one of the two English-speaking regions of Cameroon suffering from the armed conflicts that have been running on for over 9 years now, the Office of the Public Independent Conciliator has displaced community liaison officers across the 31 subdivisions of the Southwest, gathering vital feedback on council operations and paving the way for targeted improvement in local governance, which has in recent years been impressed or hampered by armed conflict in the two English-speaking regions. We're starting with these elements from Rexafon in Boya.
Improve service delivery from decentralized structures in the Southwest region. The Office of the Public Independent Conciliator deployed community liaison officers to all 31 subdivisions to assess council services. Their findings were compiled in a detailed report presented to the Public Independent Conciliator, Dorothy Atabong, during a meeting in Boya.
We had to assess the reports they brought 3 months ago, highlight the lapses, make suggestions on how the normal reports in the subsequent months will look like. And they also presented this quarter report.
Residents often voice frustrations about municipal issues, many of which fall outside the mandate of the Public Independent Conciliator, a role clearly defined by the law.
It looks like maybe in the writing of that report, they think that I can influence certain decisions from the concentrated services, and that is why I keep telling them that issues that do not concern users going to the council or the regional assembly and not being well treated or being well treated should not feature in the reports.
To stay informed about local realities, new strategies have been adopted to gather credible first-hand information.
We always send out a survey at the end of the year to sample the opinion of the population of the Southwest on concerns that concern our mission, so that we give credibility to our reports. So they are also here today. At the end of this, they will go back to the different municipalities with the questionnaires.
Soon, community liaison officers will return to the field to monitor developments in the various communities.
As they monitor developments in the various communities, notably in the Southwest region, the Prime Minister, Head of Government in Cameroon, Chief Dr. Joseph John Gute, has presented the Economic, Financial, Social and Cultural Program of the year 2025 to members of the National Assembly in Cameroon. And Abila comes back to some of the key projects outlined by the PM.
Presenting the government economic, financial, social and cultural program of the year 2026, the Prime Minister says accents will be put on national education.
The government will work to implement several commitments recently made by the head of state, including the reopening of PhD programs in universities, the relaunch of entrance examinations for teacher training colleges.
Lack of employment by young people is also a priority. Male chauvinism or women's empowerment is also a cause for concern.
Particular attention will be paid to the social, economic and professional development of young people and women who will benefit from greater empowerment and better protection.
Chief Dr. Joseph John Gute adds that the respect of human rights must be reinforced and detention conditions reviewed.
In the justice sector, government will continue to construct and modernize judicial infrastructure, improve prison conditions and optimize preparations for prisoners' reintegration into society, harmonize legislative instruments, promote human rights and prevent torture.
As he addressed the National Assembly, the head of government made mention of road projects which must be prioritized in 2026.
The rehabilitation of 335 kilometers of asphalt roads and 1,515 linear meters of engineering structures. In addition, government will continue on phase 2 of the Yaoundé-Douala motorway and launch other major road projects such as the Ebolova-Akom-2 Krebi Road.
In the domain of sanitation plus water and energy, the PM worries over inadequate provision of potable water in major cities of the country.
In the area of water supply and liquid sanitation, plans and other way to launch the mega project to supply drinking water to the city of Douala and its surroundings from the Vore River, as well as to start the project to reconfigure the drinking water supply system in the city of Yaoundé.
Rehabilitating abandoned airports to ease air transport come 2026 is part of the economic plan.
Refurbishing the Betua, Kribi and Tiko airports in accordance with the instructions of the head of state. Reconfiguring and renovating the passenger terminal at Douala International Airport. Implementing the restructuring plan for the national airline Cameco.
The ceremony to present the government economic, financial, social and cultural program to members of parliament was chaired by the Speaker of the National Assembly in Yaoundé.
Amen time for about 3 months today, live in Wututu, Quarter 1, popularly known as Obej Quarter in Buea, in the southwest region of Cameroon, has been completely grounded as persistent electricity blackout leaves residents in dark, both literally and figuratively. The close to 5,000 local inhabitants, including elderly women and vulnerable children, remain abandoned in the situation. They are now compelled to use their scarce resources in the purchase of candles. We have details with Rex Afon in Buea.
We are at Wotolo Quarter 1 in Buea, commonly known as Obej Quarter. For over 3 months now, there has been no electricity here.
This issue has affected our businesses. All the small businesses around me, those who are welding, salons, they don't have light. No way to generate income.
This prolonged outage has plunged the elderly residents here into serious hardship.
We have problems tied with modern day technology. We need air conditioning, we have fans, we have fridges, we have other automated kind of materials which are used by all people. So the role of electricity in their daily lives cannot be overstated any day, anytime, anywhere.
Numerous complaints have been submitted to the electricity supply company, but no action has been taken.
There are falling poles. When you go and tell Sonel and Nous rather that poles are falling, they say go and take pictures. When you take pictures, they don't do anything. I think they just wonder they should be given money, because that's what is happening in Cameroon today.
After waiting in vain, a delegation from the quarter visited the office of the divisional officer and the electricity supply company in Buea.
I will say that this situation, the way it is going, it is good that we should come and ask the Neo people what is actually going on, because we cannot continue to live like that.
Those with the boreholes cannot pump water, and water, you know, is very important for life.
In discussions with the authorities, residents were informed that the issue stems from a lack of available transformers. However, an average household in this quarter, home to about 5,000 people, spends between 500 and 800 francs daily on candles. This monthly expense significantly strains the finances of the families already struggling to survive in a challenging economic climate.
Of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, CRM political party and the administration of Cameroon are at daggers drawn, so to speak. The administration says no to the party's convention that is built for tomorrow in the nation's political capital city, Yaoundé, but the party says yes. From a critical viewpoint, right defenders condemn what they qualify as a continuous crackdown on opinions contrary to that of the government in place. Babila Jonathan has more in the following report.
It has been banned by the division officer of the Yaoundé 4 subdivision.
2 days before the convention, we received a ban from the sub-prefect of Yaoundé 4.
But the organizers maintain it holds November 29.
The meeting will take place on the 29th as it was convened at the party's headquarters.
Sylvanus Mutaga, special advisor to Professor Maurice Kamto, the Cameroon Renaissance Movement CRM former leader, dismisses the division officer's claim of threat to public order based on a letter from a former militant.
There had been a request from one of our ex-militants, Mr. Okala Ebode, that was excluded from the party by the competent organ of the party, that is the National Commission in charge of arbitration and mediation. So, honestly speaking, he can no longer act on behalf of the political party which we incarnate as the CRM.
The administrative decision is seen as an embarrassment to democracy.
I feel very embarrassed that in 2025 we will still have administrators who behave in this manner. They have created political parties which are official, recognized by the government, and yet they want to hold a convention and you're refusing them to meet. I think it shows that Cameroon is not a democratic country, and it is very, very worrisome that in 2025 we should be this backward in terms of democracy.
The ban on the CRM Extraordinary Convention has attracted widespread condemnation of civil and political rights violation in Cameroon.
It is repeated violation of civil and political rights, which is an infringement, of course, of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, a charter that was signed and ratified by Cameroon.
As minutes and hours close on the convention date, CRM officials hope the division officer will withdraw the ban.
And I will go to local developments to say that local inhabitants of Bombay, Konye, that in the southwest region of Cameroon, are fighting hard to keep their community alive by using their hands to dig up the road linking their neighborhoods, their villages and subdivision to several parts of the southwest region of Cameroon. They say the decision to do so themselves comes after several complaints and cries to competent authorities to get their roads and the areas linked, as it is supposed to be so can help facilitate the movement of goods and services. We have details with Lucy Liengo in the following report.
Residents of Bombay Konye in the Nguti subdivision, Kupe Manenguba division of the southwest region now rely on rudimentary tools and simple manpower to keep their only access road usable. For years, the stretch linking Bombay Konye to Mamfe and surrounding localities has been a nightmare for commuters, with motorbikes and vehicles frequently trapped in thick and slippery mud.
Masoti people all my way there for outside the whole way on a sea road. This are part for Canada, now part 1 day, part 4, part 3, part 5 days. Now that is the time. See what you don't fix them. We don't fix them again. Now number 10 times we can't send here so. Once a bustling agricultural zone, the area is now cut off from the rest of the country due to the deplorable state of the road. Frustrated by what they describe as years of neglect, local youth have repeatedly taken it upon themselves to clear mud and carried out basic repairs just to make the road passable. on the phobia, we don't vote phobia, say phobia don't have a chair. Let's try to win. We don't vote to do volunteer, to do volunteer. Let's to try to see inside the situation we are. We decline our country, we decline our subdivision.
Farmers complain that the deteriorating road is crippling economic activities, especially the transportation of cocoa from farm to market. As a result, the price of cocoa in the area has dropped.
Price of cocoa are the worst. Cocoa we get price last and I don't know and just hang up for front. Oh, not try help we.
Inhabitants are now pinning their hopes on authorities to rehabilitate the several kilometer stretch. But as they wait for government action, communities across the Nguti subdivision continue to face the harsh reality of isolation.
In the meantime, human rights defenders across Cameroon are taking a stand against what they say is cyberbullying, which according to them disproportionately affects the female folk. In a meeting in the economic capital city, Douala, the right defenders called on public and interested stakeholders to join their efforts so as to be able to eradicate the ills that they say is eating deeper into the Cameroonian society. We have details with Immaculate Fogwe.
In Cameroon, 39% of women experience gender-based violence, according to the Ministry of Women's Empowerment and the Family's 2024 report. Women in conflict-affected Northwest, Southwest, and Far North regions are also victims of violence, facing increased risk of rape, kidnapping, and early marriages due to insecurity.
So it's to send out an awareness message and to feed an alarm on the issues of violence that are being targeted towards women. So far, it's not only for 16 days because the work we always do for the whole year and forevermore, because we continue to be like vanguards to make sure that there is an end to violence and especially the violence that are targeting women and young girls nowadays.
The digital age has brought new challenges with cyberbullying and digital abuse widespread. Women are threatened, blackmailed, or have false information spread about them online, leading to silence, low confidence, and limited access to education.
People insulting online, that's a form of violence. People using your case to play mockery of it or doing a small short sketch with it online, that's part of digital violence. And sometimes these move from the digital from the online platform and go Siska. From the moment those insults start, that moment you consider that it's a situation of violence that a person may be facing and could get traumatized.
The lack of mechanisms to combat cyberbullying has allowed these abuses to thrive.
We are still working on the plan on making up a mechanism on how to properly monitor and document women who are facing online violence every minute, every second.
The 16 days of activism against gender-based violence aims to end all forms of violence, focusing on digital violence this year, uniting voices to create a safer and more inclusive society for all women and girls.
Now, it is a weekend. When was the last time you completely read a book or a novel as a young Cameroonian? It is a question asked by the presenter, but it is also a question for many minds, especially authors who are meeting in Douala, Cameroon. They say that the Cameroonian youth do not possess the culture of reading. They regret that they are ignorant of the fact that those who possess the culture of reading inculcating them knowledge, which is power. The revelation came in the presence of our reporter Innocent Aze, who went interviewing some of the authors participating in Douala's 2025 book fair.
Youth today are known to be spending much of their time surfing the internet, watching movies and other content rather than reading books to develop their minds. No wonder it is often said the book is the safest place to hide money.
When you want to hide an information, it's inside a book that you have to hide it. And hiding information to an African is simply because we African, we do not read no more. Reading is important because, when you are a reader, you develop a kind of, I don't know how to call it, but I think it's a cognitive experience that is over a normal human being. Somebody who reads, it's somebody who develop, let's say, enlighten his mind and discover many things that others do not discover.
While the Android generation thinks they can resort to reading books on the internet or watching story movies for better comprehension than reading from the tangible copy. Authors warn this is a bad choice that helps to drain the mind weak due to the inevitable distractions.
There is a particular relationship when you read this story, okay, from the book, the original book, instead of watching the movie of this book. The physical book is the best way to learn, because being in contact with a physical book is unique. And with a book, you can learn. With a book, you can discover stories. With a book, you can read things that do not exist on internet, for example.
A book fair initiative launched at Palais de la Culture in Douala in its 3rd edition aims to ignite and inflame the culture of reading among young people.
It's the occasion that we are giving to people to come and be in contact with the book, okay, to discover many things, to enlighten their mind and to develop many other capacities, to buy books and to help parents to show to their children that, you know, everything is inside the book, and you cannot, you cannot be somebody who is a full-minded without reading.
Parents are projected as the main actors who can nurture their children with the culture of reading books by affording a variety and displaying them everywhere at home. Failure to do so, according to authors, will mean cementing the mind of the child from absorbing the knowledge and power found in books only in libraries and bookshops.
And that report from Innocent as it brings us to the end of the first part of the news. Stay with us for Talking Point. Once again, thanks for joining us on Talking Points. We are receiving a civil society actor, a traditional leader, and of course, a key voice on Cameroonian political affairs. Chief Dr. Joseph Monfort, thanks for accepting to be our guest on Talking Point this Friday.
Thank you, Mr. Fomi. Thank you for inviting me to see how we can give ideas and proposals about the situation of our beloved country, Cameroon, which is so troubling and so disturbing. We are living with fear and with no peace of mind. The reason why you have invited me in this your channel to see how you can give me some questions to answer about the situations of our country.
Once again, we're happy that you accepted to join us on this edition of Talking Point. Now, one of the major events in Cameroon, as we rightly indicated, is the regional election expected to hold this Sunday. That will be just after tomorrow. Now, it's going to be holding amid continuous tension in the northwest and southwest English-speaking regions of Cameroon, conscious of the impact of this same crisis on the just-ended presidential election in Cameroon. Can one conveniently say that the crisis in the northwest and southwest region is some sort of a politically designed, or the country is simply overwhelmed?
Thank you very much, Mr. Fomi. The problem is that our leaders, like the head of state himself, Mr. Obia, His Excellency, and his collaborator, the crisis is persistent and they are killing every day. Look at what just happened these days, the kidnapping and the killing. It's very sad. Let them and all those who are working in hands to hands with Mr. Obia, let them look to this situation. There is nothing that can be above the government. It is their refusal to end up this crisis in the northwest and southwest region. Just look at the election that have just been in the two regions. The communication came up that they want the elections. But what is really happening there, they cannot see to this problem and stop all these criminal and barbaric acts in the northwest and southwest regions.
Yes, and Chief, we thank you for that. Now, this same crisis is happening and the people are worried. I mean, the people in the regions caught in We talk about the Northwest and the Southwest. To an extent, they are embarking on community solutions. We had a video viral on social media where villagers of Nkar, one of the villages in the Bui division of the Northwest, marched to a separatist camp where they were met with these separatists. Now, some are criticizing the initiative, while some say it is a welcome initiative. Where do you stand? Do you think it was a blunder? Was it a careless or a foolish move?
Mr. Fume, it's not that they have taken a wrong move. The question is that the government, had it been take the full steps to meet the people, our brothers, we should call them our brothers, because army are our brothers, those separatists, they are our brothers. You can't carry gun within your own populations. The government would have helped put a hand so that they meet those separatist fighters, they dialogue, they sit together, they have an amendment. What is troubling them? That they are kidnapping right to those who are praying that the country should be in peace. They are kidnapping them and carrying them to bush, asking some ransom to pay. Let the government assist the populations. Let them go together, not to shoot them, not to kill them, but to sit down, dialogue. There's nothing that if they can sit together and join ideas, they can have a solution. It is the refusal of the government. Had it been the government, what Monsignor Andrew Kia proposed and what the people of Nkia, the population, they have equally come out, if the government would have supported them with the GO, with the senior GO, with the governor of Mr. Lele Lafrique of the Northwest, they join together, they meet those people, they sit down, they talk together, they agree on what to do so that this situation should stop. Those separatist fighters, they give their proposal, they take down in record by writing to see how we can end up the situation. The people are suffering. You can see old mothers being burnt in houses, others being kidnapped, others died in bushes. They met them when they have already, in fact, it's very sad. The cry is too much, Mr. Armstrong. Okay. The cry is really too much.
Now, when you got the message of the armed individuals talking to these very people on Kar village, in most of the publications it was translated from Lamso. Do you have the feeling that they sounded like people ready to even talk with government officials?
Mr. Fumi, the question is that have the government made the first proposals to these children before they refuse? If they refuse, they should make it public and meet traditional chiefs of these regions, discuss with them, dialogue with them, agree with them. They can meet, they can make a point rather in the palace to meet so that they should be in security and discuss with these separatist fighters, our brothers. Army are our brothers. I persist in this point. Armies are our brothers, separatist fighters are our brothers. Those people, the phones and the notables and those key people in the government, they are our brothers. There's nobody to be neglected as solution of any situation is coming in. They will not neglect anybody, even a mushroom fisher, even a palm wine tapper. They should call him to come and give his own idea. How can you see, how can we end up this situation? Killing, sending army with bullets, with all kinds of ammunition, guns within your own population. Mr. Armstrong, I don't see it as a solution. If the government can send people closer and those separatist fighters, they refuse, let them make it public and meet traditional chief. Tell them what to say to this separatist fighter. Tell them what to say to these, our brothers in the Northwest and Southwest region. I believe that would be a solution.
Now, a quarter by time, that was Chief Dr. Joseph Monfort, who is a civil society actor, a community leader, but also a host to internally displaced persons in their numbers in the Douala 5 municipality, where he joined us this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you immensely for your keen attention, urging you to stay in the company of interesting programs on Equinoxe. Our next edition of news will be in the French language. That will be at 8 p.m. Goodbye.